using the using anything like we can able to use the JavaScript or any other frameworks and make this as dynamic. That's what is the target. Now, if you just observe the table is a static, and the table is having the T head and the T body, two parent tags, child tags in the table. If you just observe there, and then in the T body we have TRs, right? One TR is one row, and like that only in the T head also we will have a one TR, which is under the TR there will be TH, which is table header, and the table header will have some fields, and the table T body will have their own TRs with their own data, which is TDs. That's how it has been. Statically, table is like that, and there is no table level columns like classes generally. The classes of the Bootstrap always placed on top of the table itself, because from the table only it will take and do whatever it needed for the particular child tags. We can able to access. I've been discussed now. We have a accessibility where from the parent tag also we can able to access the child tags and update the CSS, right? Like that internally the Bootstrap guys are developed. So we don't want to separately, until unless we need separately something, we don't want to put it classes in the TR and THTD level. Whereas in the table, if you observe, there is a class which is mentioned here, table and table striped column, something like that. That is the most important thing, what we need to observe. And yeah, any other structure you should not change, as we discussed in the Bootstrap. We wanted to anything we want to modify internally. What we need to modify, only the data we need to modify. We can add any new tag, but we can't change the structure of the tags. If you change the structure of the tags, your Bootstrap is not going to apply. Right. That is what we need to focus. As per the table, all we need to do is we wanted to identify what are the fields, and these fields are currently hard coded here, which is first, last, handle, something like that. And we can able to change this. For example, I wanted to maintain the employee details. Then in that case, this will be employee number. And this is the name, something like that. We can able to change. And we can keep on add your headers if you want. So this is the way we are customizing the things, right? So department, something like that. So in this particular case, if you see there, I just added one more TH over there for the field, and I changed the fields like employee number, name, and salary, right? So this is how I wanted to change my Bootstrap table into to the my own requirement, right? So now since I have been changed there, I wanted to change the data as well, right? What I have to do for that, I just remove the existing TRs for now, and I can only keep the TRs which is needed for me. As of now, these two TRs are, I'm removing it. And then if you observe there, the first TH is related to the number, which is serial number, something like that. That's why they mentioned as hash over there. Otherwise, you can make it your serial number, whatever the number you want, or else you can keep it hash only. And the row number one, that's what it is actually mentioned there. But apart from that, the employee number, you have to put it. So you need to change the employee number there. So you need to have a employee number, like your employee number is 001, for example. And then the name can be anything, like you have a name called Sharon. And the salary, this salary could be a number. So something like that you can able to mention there. And one more TD you should add, because there is one more field which is department. That means what number of headers, how many is there? That many number of data should be there. That's what you should be always understand here. The TR will have a starting with the fields, and that fields number will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fields are there, and the data should be matching. That's the only thing we should observe there. And that could be IT here in the department. I'm saving it and I'll run it in the browser. And you see that everything is changed according to my requirement. If you see that the number, employee number, name, and salary, department, and the data also clearly having there, right? So this is how the customization starts with and the understanding of the existing components and how the CSS are applying to the Bootstrap. Now, all we need to do is how I wanted to make it dynamic. So you need to make it dynamic. That means what? Someone enters something on the particular text boxes. Based on the data, I wanted to update the table over there. That's what is making. I will going to show that actually. So that means what? My requirement will be like this. Say this text boxes are there. Someone will type the text box, which is employee number, name, and salary. And one more text box, I will add it here for the department. And I'm clicking on the button which is add employee. The moment I click it, one more row has to be added. So how to do that? That's the most important thing. That's how you should understand how dynamically we apply the Bootstrap and customize the components of the Bootstrap. That's how we should think about it. Okay. Now, let me just add the text boxes. For us, we need the text box like for the employee number, name, salary, and department. 4 text boxes are needed. As of now, how many is there here? We have one input. Second one is input. Third one is only 3 is there, correct? Let me just add one more thing. Guys, are you following? So now I'll change this as employee ID and change this as name and salary. Department. The moment I just change it, I just run it, you will see that you will have a employee ID, name, salary, and department. Did you see that? So all four text boxes are added, but if you observe there, that will be 3, and then fourth one is coming down. Why? Because the columns, always I told you, in a row, only 12 columns will be there, and you have been given more columns to the particular text boxes, which is 3 columns each. 3, 3, 3, 12 is completed. That's why automatically next column set is coming to the next row. All these things you have to observe there, and you can reduce the columns. If you see there, MD4 is the columns, 4 columns each it is taking. Right. I just wanted to make it 3 now. I wanted in a single row. That's why. Guys, are you following it or not?
Yes, sir.
So now
Following.
if you refresh, see that it got into the single row because 3 into 4 become 12 and it will be clearly sit into the one row. So that's how Bootstrap is always follows the grid and flex kind of things with the columns and rows. You need to be carefully understand it and customize. As of now, any questions? Okay. So by seeing the form, now if you carefully observe the form, okay, the form become meaningful because the employee ID, name, salary, and department, all these things will be able to clearly added and it will be clearly readable to the user. It's meaningful, right? The thing is, whenever I click on the button, one row has to be created with the data which is entered by the user. So how I will do it? I've been already done in the several examples if you observe. Let me quickly add that. Okay. For that, what we need it? Actually, we need IDs, right? To read the input text boxes, we need IDs. So make clear cut IDs here for the employee ID, something like that. For the name, which is having first name, right? I make it as a name only. Guys, are you following it or not? Any questions? Salary.
Item.
Okay. Now you have all the IDs now, and you can able to read all the IDs to the JavaScript. I'll change the method also. The method is validate from is there. I just make it as add employee. Okay. Now I change the method name as add employee, which is a function which I'm going to call. And now I will read all the elements here because I wanted to read and update to the table. Nah? So I wanted to add everything over there. So what I will do, I will be able to do employee ID element, which is EID element. Okay. Like that, I have to create, that means I will need to get each and every input elements. So what are the next element I'm having? Name, salary, and input. So since I've been given the same kinds of names over there, I don't want to just go and check, because each and every IDs I given meaningfully, and I just maintain the same kind of pattern which I'm following. That is why I don't want to, I will comfortably create it. I don't want to go and check every time. Now I'll just change that as a name element, because I need a different variables for different elements. I have I have a salary element and department element. Now I got all elements. Like I have 4 element text box elements, and I got 4, but I got only elements, but I want the value from the element. So what I will do, I'll create some more variables here, which is taking the value from the element, like EID is equal to EID element dot value. This is a name element, name is equal to name element dot value. So I'm collecting each and every value from the element, which is entered by the user. So salary element. Guys, are you following or any questions? You can interrupt the session anytime, okay? Department element dot value. Now, if you just observe, I read all the elements and I got all the values from the element. 2 sets of variables, and the where the value will be there in these variables, the values will be there. The value which is entered by the user. Any questions as of now?
No, sir.
Okay, now you got all the values. What you have to do, these values generally I have to update to the table, right? Here I need to update, like here employee number, name, and salary, because this is where I need to update. So what I need to do for that, where I have to update, I need to update to the T body, right? I don't want to update it to the T head. I have to update it to the T body. So first, what I have to do, I need to get the T body element also to the JavaScript. So for that, what I will do, I will go to the HTML and I will add an ID for it. Like ID is equal to T body, something like that. Employee, employee data, something like that. Whatever the ID meaning for you, you can update there. And that particular element, because you wanted to update the HTML of the T body, you don't want to update anything here because it's hard coded. It is hard coded and you don't want to change it dynamically. If you wanted to change dynamically, you can do it. But for now, I'm not changing anything for the fields. So what I'm doing there, for the T body, I have created an ID, and using this ID, I need to get that T body element into the JavaScript. So to get into the JavaScript where T body element, something like that, you can create one variable, and the same thing like document dot get element by ID, and the ID will be employee data, right? So you got the T body element also. Now you all you need to do is you need to understand one thing. Whenever you wanted to send data back to the control element, you use value. Whenever you wanted to send data back to the container element, you will use inner HTML. I already told you that. So since the T body is a container tag, okay, the container tag always takes the value or sends the value based on inner HTML. Whereas control tags takes the value or sends the value with the value property, right? So let us now understand here T body, what we have to send there, okay? The T body dot inner HTML is equal to what you have to send, you need to send the HTML part of it. The HTML will be what? It will be TR. Inside the T body, what will be there? Just you go there and observe there. Inside the T body, inside the T body, you will have all TRs. This many TRs will be there, and the TR has to follow the TH and TD. This is the same pattern. So what you will do, simply you can copy this entire thing, and you can copy and you can dynamically set here. So what I will do for that, you need to understand here in the JavaScript one thing. If you have a single quote or double quote, that particular string cannot be multi-line string. Okay, the multi-line string means I cannot have a strings like that in single quote or double quote. It will be illegal. Did you see that? It will throw error. For that only we have some more thing. Something else is there which is called backquote. If I use backquote, guys, okay, this backquote will have multi-line string. It is able to take the multiple lines also. It will take as a single. That's how it is. So I'm introducing here backquote. Backquote in the sense the escape button is there. Beside escape button, there is a symbol called backquote. This quotation is called backquote. In the JavaScript, only supports this backquote. No other language supports the backquote. In the JavaScript, if you use backquote, we can able to add multi-line string. That means the string can be in multi-lines, multiple lines. Whereas if you use double quotes or single quote, you string cannot be have multi-lines, only in single line. Any biggest line you can have the string. That's how it is. Currently, we need a backquote here because I wanted to just to put the TR as it is. Now, if you observe there, the TR has been added over there, and the TR has to be the same way it is, right? But I want it to be like a circular TR. So what I will do, I will have a like this. All these things we did it already in the previously. If you observe there, inner HTML is equal to inner HTML plus this one, so that it will append the things again and again and again to the rows. It won't just replace it. So I am just updating that, and this is happening whenever I click on the button, these things will happen. But for now, this particular data is hard coded. Later we will change it to the normal. So now you just observe with this what will going to happen to the program. I'm just running it and just clicking it, see what is happening. The same data repeatedly adding to the data. Now what I have to do, these data I have to replace with the data which is entered by the user. That's all I have to do it, right? So for that, what I can do, I have already data in the EID and the name and salary and department. Here the values are there. Nah? So what I have to do here, I was not putting anything on the row for now because this is just a count. I'm just taking only the 4 values, which is employee number, name, salary, and department, right? So I just replace directly here. For replacing it, we are using dollar and floor bracket, and then you can put it the value. That means the variable. Guys, are you following it or not? The name. So whatever the variable you are holding there, that variable
Yes, sir.
directly will keep it there. So that's it. Automatically, it will append with the values, guys. Okay. So the other variable which is department. So that's all you can do it. For now, you just see that. Just leave it for now, this particular count, but you see that these things will be updated. Now let us observe here. I did not have anything, guys, like validation tunnel for now. I did not apply any values, but later we can keep on add the validations, things like that. But now just to observe there, I just type like this. Now the moment I click on add, see what is happening. Did you see that what is happening? Guys, are you guys able to see that? Like that, if you just observe here, everything is updating. And also there is no validation. That's why empty also, whatever is there, it will be updated. There is no duplicate check. There is no validation. So that is why you can apply it in the. So you can later we can apply and we can say that it's a duplicate, it's having empty. It is that one. This one you can able to have the validation, and the validation is passed. Then only you can add to the row. Otherwise, you can stop it. All these things can be done. But now just observe here what is going to happen. So whenever I type the value and how I am taking it and how I am applying it is the most important part of it. So when you click it, see that clearly it's updating. So what we are doing, how we were taking the values and how we were updating into that. And did I change the TR? I did not change the structure of the TR as it is. Only the data I'm changing. I'm not changing anything. So that's how. So always you need to understand that how to customize it, how to make it dynamic, how to make dynamic customization, static customization. That is how. At the end of the day, whatever the way you are customizing, either you are using JavaScript and do it, or you are directly doing it. The structure of the HTML, CSS thing should not change as per the Bootstrap. If you change it, your existing Bootstrap things won't apply. It will break. That is why we are doing it. So that is how we can able to do it, guys. Any questions here? Now I will update the count also. This is all just like a program. I will have a count over there, like a var count, because I need a count continuously. So count is equal to 0. I can able to add there. And then inside the function you cannot, because the function every time will call. If I have a count is equal to 0, every time it will become 0. So we should not keep inside the add function. The counter should initialize with a 0 in the top only. You cannot put inside, because this add function will execute every time you click on the button. Whenever you have a count over there is equal to 0, always it will. So you should not have this. You can have a count plus plus here, because it will be incremental. Every time one element can be incremental. 0 plus 1. 1 plus 1, 2 like that. Now that particular count I can able to update there. Guys, are you following it or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now I wanted to just add the same way, like SR number, name, salary, department. I'm clicking on it. You see one came there, and keep on adding it. You see that 2, 3. Did you see that, guys? Guys, are you following it or not? So whatever the value you type, it will be updated there, right? So this is how, okay, generally we used to do with the HTML customizations, and we already done in several ways in the JavaScript also. Now we just added the Bootstrap. So whenever the Bootstrap came, how we are following the Bootstrap and how we are updating it, and we can able to add the validation. And the validation is completed, you will have a check over there, something like that. Validation the previous session I've been told na that condition you can keep it over there. If the thing is valid, then only you can add this row to the table and keep this entire. This is the only thing which is updating into the body. So I'm just putting inside the condition. This total part I can put it to the condition, and I open this one with a if we are valid only I can make it true. Otherwise I made it false. Like that I can able to control this particular thing which is appending data to the table, guys. Okay, like that we can have a several ways of doing the same thing. Okay, and also I've been told you like how a count will be there. Now the hard coded data, generally you need to observe that whenever I run it, this hard coded data should not be there. So what I will do, I can completely remove the hard coded data from the table. You have only the T body is enough here to stay. And whenever you run it, it will be like this. Now you keep an add your when you just add it, see, always that will be updated. Any questions, guys? So, and also we can do several things here. Like I want to, whenever I add one particular row, I wanted to clear everything. I don't want to be with the values. Otherwise, you can click it again, it will go there, right? So I wanted to clear it. So how we will do it? I will just show you here quickly. That's very simple thing. You know that that's the value, right? The value of the element is this one. and whenever it is added, I want to empty. So what I will do it, I can just do this way. Once the append is completed, I have the same value equal to, I just assign a empty string. What is that? This is what is replacing with the empty string. Empty string, if I replace the value, what will happen? It will become a empty. Like that, I will do all the values. So when I'm doing it, whenever append is completed, I'm doing all the values empty. Guys, are you following it or not? Like that, you can extend this program into any number of requirements. Okay. Now let's just run this and let me just have the value there and add it. The moment the add is completed, you see what is happening. All the uh, all the fields are empty. That means the text box are become empty. Now you can keep on add your new data. You don't want to remove it and do it again and again, right? Guys, are you following it or not? See that
Yes,
automatically
following.
is removing, and also it is focused back to the text box. So this is how you can able to keep on customize it. I'm stopping the session here. You guys have to complete this requirement in the previous validation as well as this thing. This is the most important thing which I'm showing you here. Both the things you have to complete and share it to me. And then tomorrow I will just introduce jQuery. That is what I'm planning. Okay. Once you guys are familiar with this, and jQuery is very simple because jQuery is one of the JavaScript framework. As of now, we are directly using the JavaScript. Tomorrow onwards, we're going to introduce jQuery, and I'll show you how jQuery help us with the same kind of requirements, how it will help. All these things. Most of the cases we do the same. Everywhere, most of the requirements will be like this. So this particular example is the most important thing. If you are familiar with this example, it's more than enough to work in the industry. Because we are having the form validations and we are updating the table and several things we are customizing. Most of the way you guys are doing this only. Are you getting, guys? So that is why I'm showing you. This is most important program you guys has to be familiar with. Any questions? Okay, I'm stopping here. We'll meet in the
Sir,
next session.
from this we have completed the bootstrap, right, sir?
Yeah, for
Fully.
this Bootstrap is completed. Bootstrap won't
Okay, sir.
complete any time. Okay, going forward also we'll add Bootstrap and do it. Okay, every time we refer the Bootstrap for any element and we'll add it. So we always go with the Bootstrap and do something and updating it. Like technically we are stopping Bootstrap. We are not talking anything on the Bootstrap, but this is more than enough to understand about the Bootstrap. You guys need to take it and practice.
సార్ కానీ బూట్స్ట్రాప్ లో ఇంక మనం ఏమి ఫర్దర్ గా ఫ్యూచర్ ఏం చేయాలన్నా కస్టమైజేషన్ తెలిస్తే చాలు కదా సార్
అంతే కావాలి నీకు.
ఓకే సార్
Thank you very much. Thank you for watching the video. If you like this session, please comment and share this video. If you don't want to miss my upcoming videos, please subscribe to the channel.